Topping today's news, Prime Minister Davis announces new policies in his Monday night national address. Over 200 residents on Moores Island, Abaco get clear title for their land. 2 traffic fatalities over the holiday weekend. And Rick Fox says he will run in the new St. James constituency. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It is a pleasure to have you join us. During his national address last night, Prime Minister Philip Davis spoke to the Bahamian people about new policy changes his government will introduce this year. Among them, the removal of value-added tax from all uncooked food items.
Early in our term, we reduced customs duties on many food items, including fresh produce, and we expanded price controls. We heard you when you said you were concerned the savings weren't always passed on, so we hired additional price inspectors. Then last year, we cut VAT on food from 10 to 5%. And tonight, I'm announcing the next step. Effective April 1st, all foods currently at 5% VAT will be VAT-free. Zero VAT on those food items. This will apply to fresh fruits and vegetables, baby food, lunch snacks, frozen foods, and other groceries, everything except prepared meals sold hot or ready to eat.
The Prime Minister also encouraged Bahamians to prepare yourselves to take advantage of new opportunities.
With new technologies reducing the capital investment required for many business models, barriers to entry are lower. That means we can open new doors to Bahamian ownership, to Bahamian success and prosperity, and to new industries built and led by Bahamians. It means we can accelerate our development and build an economy where prejudice and privilege and gatekeepers matter a lot less, and your creativity and ability to innovate matter a lot more.
He added that this is a significant step, one he hopes will really help lower the pressure on Bahamian families when it comes to shopping for groceries, along with efforts to reduce costs through energy reforms and more affordable homegrown food items. In response to the Prime Minister's address and new policy announcements, Opposition Leader Michael Pintard said that if these measures were truly essential, Bahamians would not have to wait almost 5.5 years to see them. In a statement, he added that the Free National Movement has consistently called for VAT relief on food and essential items for years now, including in December of 2021, April of 2022, and on multiple occasions in 2023 and 2024, as food and electricity costs climbed. The F&M leader described the Prime Minister's address as smoke and mirrors and shameless campaign tax cuts designed to distract frustrated voters going into the general election. More than 200 families on Moores Island, Abaco are finally receiving legal ownership to land they have called home for generations. At a ceremony held on the island, the government and its officials distributed 216 land titles, bringing an end to a long and often difficult journey for residents who have waited years for legal recognition. Prime Minister Philip Davis said the moment represents fairness and justice for families who always believed the land rightfully belonged to them.
But since we returned to office, we've been working to complete the regularization process. And that is where the matters now stand. Yes. So today, we are granting conveyances to families who waited patiently, often quietly, for something they always knew was rightfully theirs. Today, the law finally meets lived reality. This moment matters because it is about people, real families, real names, and real lives. So today, we brought over 200 conveyances to be given out to families here, like the Roll family, the Albreys, the Saunders, the Coopers, the Russells.
Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Urban Renewal, Keith Bell, was also present and spoke at the ceremony, emphasizing the importance of land ownership in building stronger communities and creating opportunities for future generations.
What we have done is through our compulsory acquisition is to compulsory acquire the land, convey it to the Minister of Housing, and then be giving you your title land back, which means you have a good root of title, you can get a bank loan, you can pass it on, you can invest it. And we want to encourage the residents that, again, consult your attorneys, your legal representatives, so that you're able to ensure that whenever God calls you home, the land does not fall back into that state of abeyance. And so I want to encourage the residents throughout where we have been, all of the areas that we've been so far, to please ensure that you take care of your documents and pass it on to who you would wish to pass it on.
The minister said the land reform effort is part of a wider national push to regularize land ownership, particularly in communities where families have lived on properties for decades without formal documentation. And finally, in this segment, on Monday, the country celebrated majority rule. During his address to the nation on Monday, Prime Minister Philip Davis reminded Bahamians of the significance of this occasion.
Brothers and sisters, January in the Bahamas is a time of celebration and anticipation as we honor the heroes who secured majority rule and embrace the hope and promise of the year ahead. In January of 1967, after many years of courageous struggle, the Bahamian people achieved majority rule, ending centuries of exclusion from full economic and political participation in our own country. In the decades since, Bahamians from every walk of life and from islands across our archipelago have come together to build our modern sovereign nation. I've studied our country's history closely in order to learn from it, to know what it takes to change a nation. Majority rule and independence gave us the keys to our freedom, the power to shape our own destiny. We have achieved much to be proud of, but we know there's so much more we can do with the power that is the beating heart of that legacy.
The Prime Minister said the strength and resilience shown by the Bahamas in the face of tragedy, health and economic challenges, and its ability to punch above its weight in sports and other fields is evidence that we are a nation destined for greatness. You're watching JCN News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.